All right. If you're in IT, you know this feeling, right? The internet's down, an app won't connect, and suddenly every single person is looking at you for an answer. For so many of us, modern networking feels like some kind of dark art. Well, today we're going to pull back that curtain and demystify the black magic.
Welcome to Super Courserva. Unlock the secrets of the internet and master computer networking. Let's dive in.
So let's just dive right into the core problem. It's this myth that just won't die in IT, that networking is some kind of unknowable, unpredictable force. You try something, and if you get lucky, it just starts working again.
So let's just ask it out loud. Is it really magic? I mean, you type in a web address, hit enter, and poof, a video appears from halfway across the world. How? For way too many people, the honest-to-goodness answer is a shrug and, I have no idea, it just works. But that feeling, that uncertainty, that's what keeps so many IT pros stuck just guessing.
And this really says it all, doesn't it? The perception is that it's all magic and guesswork, topped off with a hopeful reboot. But the reality is the complete opposite. Networking isn't magic. It's a system that's built on a foundation of rules and protocols. It's pure logic. These are all solvable problems, not mystical spells. And that right there, that's the secret. The most successful people in IT, they aren't wizards. They're just the ones who took a little time to understand the fundamentals, to learn how the magic tricks are actually done. That knowledge is the massive difference between blindly guessing and methodically solving a real problem.
Okay, so why should you care about this so much right now? Because understanding networking is no longer just a nice-to-have skill. In our totally hyper-connected world, it is absolutely essential.
And here's the big reason why. The whole idea of a standalone computer, just an island working all by itself, it's dead. Gone. That era is completely over. We live in an ecosystem where everything is connected to everything else all the time. In fact, every piece of technology we use these days is what's called a network node. Your phone, your watch, your laptop, even your smart toaster. Yep, they're all nodes. They were literally designed from the ground up to communicate. Their entire reason for being is to be part of a network. This quote just hits the nail on the head. If a modern device can't connect, if it can't talk to other computers, what can it actually do? Nothing. It's just a very, very expensive paperweight. The takeaway here is simple. You cannot fix modern technology issues if you don't understand how these devices talk to each other.
So, if everything depends on being connected, then truly understanding how that connection works, well, that becomes a kind of superpower. It's the thing that separates the average IT support person from the elite problem solver.
We've all seen the average method in action, haven't we? Step one is almost always the same. Reboot the router, reboot the computer, the switch, reboot anything and everything. It's a strategy that's based 100% on hope, not diagnosis.
But the elite method is completely different. It's a process. It starts by understanding the actual path the data is supposed to take. Then, you methodically find the exact spot where that path is broken. And only then do you fix the actual root cause of the problem. It's methodical, it's repeatable, and you know what? It works.
You know, this approach is so much more than just a better way to troubleshoot. It's a career hack. When you can solve the complex problems that leave everybody else just scratching their heads, you become invaluable. You're not just putting a Band-Aid on the symptom, you're actually curing the disease.
Now, this all sounds great, but how do you get there? The good news is there's a modern playbook for learning this stuff, and it does not involve memorizing ancient textbooks from the 90s. Just think about how this is usually taught. Old school courses, they just get lost in all this deep, complex theory, as if they're trying to train you to build the internet backbone from scratch. The modern approach is way different. It focuses on practical application, on what you actually need to do your job and keep people connected. And this gets to a key idea of the practical approach. There's this running joke in IT that's, well, it's not really a joke. When something is wrong, it's almost always DNS. That's the domain name system, the internet's phone book that turns names like google.com into numbers that computers can actually understand. And a modern approach has to acknowledge this reality right from the start. So the modern focus really boils down to three things. First, practicality. Learn what you're actually going to use. Second, develop a deep, almost obsessive understanding of DNS, because that's where most of the problems are hiding. And third, master the diagnostic tools, things like ping and traceroute and NSLookup. These are the tools that let you see the flow of data like you have X-ray vision. You know, when you embrace this modern playbook, something really fundamental starts to change.
It's not just about learning a new skill, it's about taking on a whole new professional identity.
You're no longer just the person who tells people to try turning it off and on again. You become someone who genuinely understands the flow of information across a network. You can practically see the matrix. You can diagnose the break and explain why it happened. And that is an incredibly powerful place to be.
So, we'll end on this one simple question. The next time you're facing a connection issue, are you going to go back to just fixing the symptom and hoping for the best? Or are you going to be the one who steps up, diagnoses the flow, and solves the root cause? The choice and the superpower is all yours.